We're going to be installing two forms of solar energy here. On the large roof, which we'll call roof A, we're going to be installing a 5 kilowatt PV system or solar electric system. It'll be 24 panels. And on roof B, we're going to be installing a solar thermal system, which is essentially going to be used for heating hot water. This is your traditional atmospherically vented hot water heater. Really inefficient, about 50% efficiency rating, because we're just heating hot water for it to stand around for when we use it. Not a very effective use of energy, because there's always an on-off with the heating, they rust out. So unfortunately, if you see the rust marks in the puddle below, this tank, which is 11 years old, and that's typically the average lifespan for a tank, is starting to go. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a solar domestic hot water system, which is going to be driven from the solar collector upstairs on roof B. We're in the attic now, and this is where it all happens. We're lucky enough to have a wide open attic and complete access to the rafters. The infrastructure is pretty sound. We've got 2 by 10 by 16 rafters, meaning they're 2 inches wide by 10 long by 16 apart. And we'll actually be screwing in metal lags to these from the outside, and that's what's going to secure both the flashing to prevent water from entering into the roof and a foot or a stand that we're going to tie our racks on the outside, and ultimately the panels will be attached to the racks. This is an example of a bundle of various parts that's put together in a package or a bundle. So I ordered one SKU, and with that I've got most everything I need. The rails, the roof attachments, the solar panels, the wiring, the disconnect boxes, pretty much everything. And it's anchored down by my selection of solar panels. We went with a Sanyo HIT 215. Each panel can generate 250 watts of energy at standard test conditions. So this system will be about a 5 kilowatt system that probably will reduce my electric bill by about half, 50%. So all we have left now to do is go up and install it. Let's do it. So our roofing crew has put on a completely new layer of shingles, and now what they're doing is installing the flashings, which essentially will be part of the mounting system for the roof in which the panels will be installed on. So this is good water prevention, so water will not be able to seep through the penetration holes that we're making in the roof. So that'll be the top row, 7 panels with a width of 228. 228, Jose. That 228 will be your last set of flashings for the 4th and 5th row. So to summarize the roof installation process, we began with re-roofing the sections of the roof where we installed the panels. Then we ran the rails, which are the silver or the aluminum rails that go horizontal, and attached them to the standoffs. And then the last process was actually attaching and connecting 24 of the solar panels.
Over a little bit more. Okay.
Took about 3 days. We took our time, did it safe, and I think we did a fairly decent job. So what we have here are 3 strings, 8 panels each for a total of 24. That should generate approximately 5K kilowatts on an annual basis. The installation from the outside is complete, and we can take a look at how it's all brought together on the inside and then brought into the inverter downstairs, where the DC power is converted to AC for the house domestic use. So we're in the attic now, right adjacent to where the panels are installed outside. So here we're basically taking the wires from the array, which are 6 wires, and we've brought them through a small hole in the roof, and we're combining them into this combiner box. We make the appropriate connections, and then we convert that energy from those 6 wires down to 2 wires, and it combines that power, or that DC voltage, drives it through this EMT, which is specially shielded cable, and then this cable runs all the way downstairs for connection to the inverter. So here we are in the basement now, and we follow the connection of that DC wire from the attic to the basement. So on the other side of the inverter, it comes in as DC, and then into this box, which is the inverter, and that essentially converts it from DC current to AC current, and then comes through a DC disconnect if I have to turn it off on this side. And then the AC power goes into a meter. This is a typical utility grade meter, so I'll always have a record of the production, how much electricity that the system has created. And then from the meter it goes outside to the AC disconnect, which we showed you earlier, and that's for safety reasons. If one of the utility employees has to turn off the system from the outside, it comes back in through this wire and then goes into our sub panel. And here we'll either be supplying energy to the load here in the house, the refrigerator, the air conditioner, or if we're not using the current that's coming through, it's sent back out the grid. So that's essentially the complete loop of the system. So as we say at Renewable Resource Systems, it's a great day to make your own energy. It really isn't that difficult. It's the right thing to do. It's basically what we have to do for a successful future. So here's Steve Tesoriero from Renewable Resource Systems saying, great day to save some energy. Thanks. This is the patron son of all solar systems. This is the Hakawi chief, Chief Wild Eagle, who always said, "Where the fuck are we?" Well, here we are filming with the Tom Franklin film crew, who was also, Tom was also in F Troop. I think he was Schultz. He actually played the role of Schultz and Duffy. It was a dual role that Tom had. Excellent, excellent actor. I think he got an Emmy or a Tony or a Frankie or a Jose for it. It was great.